welcome to this week's webinar with Airdomo. Look, this is going to be funny today, you all. I'm Stephanie Gillison. This is my partner, Kat. Before we got on the live air today, Kat was having internet slow issues, like she was freezing up and stuff. So if we go through that a little bit today on the webinar, I'll just pass over her and we'll let her come and go as she is. But that's the importance of investigating your internet. When we're talking about destination real estate, you need to make sure if you need to be on the internet, if that is a viable source of your income and a necessity, you need to make sure it's got strong internet, because Kat's in a destination location without strong internet today, aren't you, Kat?
I am in America. Crazy.
Well, I'm excited because today we're talking about a destination that has become so super popular. Right, Kat?
Yeah, it really has. I don't know how many people know. I'm sure most people know that Puerto Rico is an American territory and it doesn't require a passport. And it has become such a popular place for people to, buy their second homes, go on vacations, and it's easy to get to, no passport required. So you can buy a ticket today, be there tomorrow if you want. So let's dive into it. Stephanie, why are people...
there's that internet going again. But her question is why are so many Americans moving to Puerto Rico right now? Well, guys, listen, it's all about taxes. I'm right there with them. I hate making so much money and having to pay in so much taxes, right? So Act 60 offers major tax advantages to individuals and businesses, including 0% capital gains tax and only a 4% corporate tax rate. And so what's amazing about this is that you can move to Puerto Rico. You can live there 6 months in one day. You can have full-blown advantages without having to pay in so much and be in those high tax brackets that you are faced with here in the States. Another thing that you can do is you can invest there. Short-term rentals. It is a place that people are loving to vacation to. It's also a lifestyle upgrade, you all. People are trading the traffic, the cold weather for palm trees and ocean views. A lot of people from the north go south to Florida, but a lot of people are also going further south to Puerto Rico because the accessibility, it's part of the US, like Kat said, so there's no passport needed and the dollar is still the currency. So because it's a US territory, it's like being in the United States. It's not confusing for people. So it's very comfortable for any of us to go there and feel at home.
So then the hype that I've heard about Puerto Rico being a tax haven, that isn't just hype, it's all true.
Well, it is true. I mean, it's not for everyone, but under Acts 20 and 22, now bundled into Act 60, which I mentioned in the first round, qualifying residents can legally eliminate capital gains tax and reduce corporate taxes if they meet certain criteria. But you have to genuinely relocate, meaning you're spending at least 183 days a year on the island and establishing bona fide residency, okay? You can't just go there and buy property and say, oh, I'm occupying Puerto Rico. I'm not going to pay taxes. No, you've got to spend 183 days there a year on the island and establish that bona fide residency. But that's the same as those that move into Florida and not have that state income tax. You've got to spend that kind of time there in Florida as well.
So what about healthcare, schools, and the infrastructure? How do those compare to the mainland?
Well, everywhere is a mixed bag. And I think we can say that about a lot of America, right? I mean, nothing's perfect, okay? So it's a mixed bag. Puerto Rico's got private hospitals that offer quality care. There are bilingual private schools that expats love. Infrastructure is improving, especially in major areas like San Juan and Dorado, but rural parts of the islands can be less consistent. It's important to do your research. Okay. And that's where Airdomo comes in. That is why we're doing Airdomo, so that we can bring that research to you and educate you properly.
Yeah, for sure. And what part of the island are Americans flocking to? What cities are really super popular?
Well, everybody hears about San Juan because obviously it's been one of the most popular cities in Puerto Rico. That's where the cruise ships poured in. And it remains that cultural and economic hub, especially the neighborhoods of Condado and Miramar and Old San Juan. But for a quieter luxury vibe, Dorado is becoming the top choice because those people that love the gated communities, the golf courses, the Four Seasons resorts. It's
Mhm.
another favorite for those who love surfing in a more laid back scene. So, that's becoming more up and popular. It's a little bit more laid back. It's a little bit further out from the city. But again, it's that luxury, quiet lifestyle that we all want to achieve sometimes.
And how easy is it to buy property in Puerto Rico?
It's super easy because it's a US territory. America's face none of the red tape they would in some of the other countries. You can own property outright, and financing is available through US banks. So that's
Mhm.
not an issue. Plus, property prices are still lower than comparable locations in Florida and California beachfront markets, which is another reason why it has made it extremely desirable. When you start to look at some of the communities that have been developed in Puerto Rico throughout the years, it's impressive, people. It is extremely impressive. So, Puerto Rico has, the newness. It's got the historical, but it's got a lot of that newness that we're looking for. You can't drive there, but it's such an easy flight to get there. There's so many cities that are flying direct flights to Puerto Rico, and there's more every single day. The tax breaks, the climate, you always have a great climate there. And again, real estate is still less than Florida and those California beachfronts. So that's huge.
Yeah, definitely. So what is the perception about Puerto Rico and moving there?
Well, I think the biggest misconceptions is that people think it's all about the tax breaks. And the truth of the matter is that people who stay long term, they truly fall in love with the community, the culture, and the
Mhm.
climate. Yeah, the incentives are a draw, but it's the lifestyle that really keeps people there. It does have a phenomenal sense of community. And for the people that I know, I'm affiliated with a company of independent contractors, real estate agents and brokers, and EXP Realty. And we happen to be open in Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
And for our real estate agents that are, making millions of dollars a year in commission, so many of them have relocated to Puerto Rico for those tax incentives. But actually, when they've gotten there, they've actually enjoyed and fallen in love with the community and the culture and the climate. And so many of them have gotten involved in development. They've
Mhm.
gotten involved in taking some of the rural parts and reworking these developments. They've taken some of the more rundown areas of Puerto Rico and rebuilt them. So there's a lot of opportunity there for the investors. There's a lot of opportunity there for real estate brokers. There's a lot of opportunity there for growth in general. And you'd be surprised at how much business is actually happening in Puerto Rico, which is a beautiful and wonderful thing. And so not only can you go there to relax, but you really can go there and create a lifestyle, that you can have right here in the States. I know families that have relocated down there with kids. They have enrolled them in their private schools. These kids are growing up very much bilingual, which is a positive in this day and
Yeah.
age, right?
Yep.
And they're having a great education. They're enjoying what they've created down there. And here in the States, when they lived here, they were flippers. They were buying property, fixing it up, putting it back on the market, and selling it. Down there, they're doing exactly the same thing, but they're taking the benefit of not having that capital gains tax, so they're keeping more money in their pocket. And to them, they have enjoyed raising their children in a place with that type of climate and the culture. So it's a pretty cool, awesome thing. If you haven't been to Puerto Rico, you have to check it out. It is a really, really cool place. It's a place that I don't own, but definitely will. And it's a place I could see myself staying 183 days easily.
Yeah, I mean, if you break up that 183 days, that's only 6 months. So, go a month, come back, go a month. It is a second home, right? It'd be perfect.
And where I am, I'm on the eastern side of the United States. I mean,
Mhm.
there's so many cities. You can jump southwest and go straight to
Yeah,
Puerto Rico. So there's inexpensive flights to get there. So, and here's what's so funny: last minute inexpensive flights. There was a flight just last weekend for $49 to Puerto Rico. Crazy,
crazy.
crazy,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. You can't, I mean, yeah, that's unbelievable. Well, that is the goal for me. Puerto Rico. I would love to live on an island. It's just perfect. Easy to get
Absolutely.
back. Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because one of the things I didn't realize is Puerto Rico actually controls some of the other islands out in the Caribbean area,
Mhm.
and and how they sustain is by selling power and other utilities to some of the other islands, and it's pretty
Oh,
impressive. It's pretty impressive. Obviously the U.S. is always innovative, right? But it's pretty
yeah.
impressive of how they're doing that. So it's always evolving. But that is how everybody always says, well, if it's low taxes, how do they survive? Well, they survive by selling the utilities to other islands out there.
Makes sense. Makes total
Mhm.
sense. Okay, well, that's all we have time for today. So, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good. You're good,
Oh,
Kat.
I'm
Good.
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 Thank you for joining us. Our Airdomo website is literally almost ready. We
It
just got
is.
word that it's going to be a couple weeks, and we have some exciting things going on. There's going to be a travel magazine, in addition to all of the services that Airdomo offers. So we can't wait for you to see it. And stay tuned. We're going to be telling you more about it pretty quick.
Absolutely. Until next week. Next week, we're going to be covering St. Bart's. It's going to be amazing. So until next Wednesday, everyone, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.